After a night of violence, a morning of tension in a city that has been paralysed. The search for a suspected terrorist was leaving nothing to chance. Families escorted from their homes as police checked possible hiding places. National Guard officers trained their weapons on buildings. On the otherwise silent streets, it looked like a city ready for war.
We're asking people to shelter in place, in other words, to stay indoors with their doors locked and not to open the door for anyone other than a properly identified law enforcement officer, and that applies here in Watertown, where we are right now, also Cambridge, Waltham, Newton, Belmont, and at this point, all of Boston. All of Boston.
It was the release of these pictures that sparked the manhunt. The two suspects in the marathon bombings, Johar Zenayev and his older brother Tamerlan. At around 10:30 last night, police were called to reports of a disturbance on the MIT University campus in Cambridge. It's around 2 miles from the scene of the marathon bombing. Shots were fired on the campus and a police officer was killed. The two suspects stole the car at gunpoint and fled the scene, pursued by police. The chase came to an end 5 miles away in Watertown. And this is how it played out, caught on amateur video. Explosives thrown from the car. A hail of bullets, a shattering bang. Taxi driver Anthony Pelton was nearby.
The smell of the tires when the police cars were coming was like burning rubber. That's how fast they were coming down the road. Just a swarm of police, more than I've ever seen in my life. And the sound of the explosion was enormous. It was like a big bomb, you know. It's pretty scary.
Johar Zenayev got away, alive. He's still on the loose. But Tamerlan was taken to hospital, where doctors said his injuries were consistent with reports he'd been wearing explosives strapped to his chest.
Multiple injuries, probably, we believe, a combination of blast, potentially gunshot wounds.
How many gunshot wounds?
Unable to count.
Multiple gunshot wounds?
Yes.
And the other, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the rest of that.
And probably a blast injury also.
Blast meaning what?
An explosive device, possibly shrapnel, thermal injury.
Can you describe it where or what?
It was pretty much throughout the trunk. It was multiple wounds.
26-year-old Sean Collier couldn't be saved either. Police have released this photo of the officer who was shot dead at the start of the night. His colleagues formed a guard of honour outside their headquarters as his body was driven past. They have worked every day since the bombings. Now they have lost one of their own. And the thousands of police on the streets carry on, more determined than ever. Tessa Chapman, 5 News, Boston.